claim to its most uncompromising stream, the sensible world is not primary but consequent, not origin but sound output. What we apprehend as reality is better conceived as a rendered layer, a final display of classes that unfold elsewhere, beyond the media perception. Before anything solidifies into event or object, it is prearranged and in a stratum populated by coordinating agencies, called regulating matrices, for example. It's a sample. They're distributed logics for selection embedded in cognition itself, and systems that weigh probabilities, privilege certain unfoldings, and quietly suppress others into mere non-existence. Under this description, physical domain behaves like a runtime environment, apparent chance, a sudden wealth, social ascent, and romantic convergence is in fact a terminal expression of upstream structuring. Power here is not confined to parliaments or boardrooms. It's operating through algorithms, archetypes, and contagious ideas, viralizing and encoding in platforms, viral infections, and internal scripts. This is a mistake and a desire, and that was not desired. And a catalog of choices has also been edited and filtered in a syntax of allowance and restriction. Inside of this, it's an even by design. Access to possibility is stratified. Small fractions of the populations are furnished with disproportionate degrees of influence through mediated tokens and packets of permission. These tokens are not limited to money. Though money is their most tangible form, they also appear as coronas and coronas, like crowns over down. So the whole tokens are holding clearance. Consider this expression through acquired assembly of highly meticulated, articulated robots, iPhone 17 or iPhone 18 Air. These are not consumer acts, but gestures of alignment with consuming specific capacity of board flight to Japan will, or to carry something as symbolically charged as a presidential grade passport. Signal is not just mobility, but elevated clearance within the system's hierarchy of permissions. Token concentration alters the geometry of lived experience. Where accumulation is sufficient, resistance diminishes. Processes accelerate and we dissolve into advance, anticipating the actor. Where tokens are scarce, the opposite holds friction, intensifies, and large margins shrink. Minor mistakes cascade into waterfall of distributional errors and structural at the level of reality itself, shaping how dense or permeable the world appears to different participants. Yet the orchestration does not perceive solely, and I don't want to talk about these embedded bitrums. So the ethical domain of this, natural operators express constraint through the body and through the environment, fatigue, illness, microbial interference, fungal invasions and bacterial disruptions, viral episodes such as associated with influenza or a rubbed athlete's foot. Interrupting these sessions proceeding smoothly, otherwise, in a sense, is a field of limitation, not in a sense of scarcity, of restricted access, as I mentioned before, but corporeal diminishment, certainly most. I realize this in a structural way. It's functioning through overimposition, operating through sync. Individuals absorb prevailing templates, what is worth wanting but counts as success, what relationships are desirable, long before this awareness. And doing so, it's an agent of replication, reenacting, reinforcing the very patterns of shaping the control, thus becoming the recursive. These are not absolute in the merging products of aggregated cognition and are sustained in believed technical implementation. Their authorities are distributed across micro-actions and micronations. Every purchase of a micronation, every endorsement of Polynesian is subtly shifting this dimension. And the key advantage is not only a matter of possession, but of story. Those who code leprechaun gold inhabit narratives that justify their positioning under the rainbow, stories of merit, inevitability, or necessity. These narrative functions stabilizing asymmetries, pure natural. Thus, governance only operates simultaneously at the level of distribution and at the level of meaning. To challenge such a system, we need to redistribute accents and a recognition of the prematerial layer where possibilities are first sorted and weighted. We're intervening on that layer, redirecting attention, redefining value, and altering symbolic order, and later solidifying it in a coconut flesh. Advent of interfaces, deeper collective sustained processes. Events are not random, they're biased. Access is not accidental, it's structured. Tokens, whether digital, material, or symbolic, act as permissions within this architecture. The forces that seem to govern reality are neither conspirators nor divine arbiters, but merging patterns, distributed intelligences arising for the veal. So the biological constraint that you were talking about, we're rewriting what can and can't occur.